The letter to the missionaries shows just how much King Leopold had a wicked heart and utter contempt for the Africans, just to feed his own selfish imperialistic desires. One of the most wicked to walk the planet was King Leopold II of Belgium. Was King Leopold II of Belgium. And what he committed in the Congo was utterly unspeakable and grossly unimaginable. No one ever held him accountable for that. Under the guise of spreading civilization, Christianity, and commerce, he was able to achieve what he had always yearned for, the whole control of the Congo, but at a huge cost for the Africans. What he did was utterly despicable. Let me make this a little bigger. All right. When he wrote a letter to the Christian missionaries who were to spread the word of God. Now I want y'all to listen to this. His malicious machinations were just laid bare. Unfortunately, the Africans in the Congo were simply overpowered, both militarily and mentally. Now, the reason why I'm reading this, right? I'm going to read this because I want you guys to listen to this, what I'm going to read, and then I want you to apply it to the mindset of the global African today, around the world, still. Because a lot of times our people, we tend to talk about the Willie Lynch letter, but they never ever mention what King Leopold II wrote to the white missionaries that were spreading Christianity throughout. And you're going to get a chance to see how the black church operates. You're going to get a chance to see just the mindset of the global African around the world. Reverends, fathers, and dear compatriots, the task that is given to fulfill a very delicate and requires much tact. You will go certainly to evangelize, but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interests. I want y'all to remember that. Your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interests. Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is never to teach the niggers to know God. This they already know. This they already know. So that means before you even came with your Bible and your white Jesus, we already knew who God was. We already had principles of a higher self. They speak and submit to Mungu, Nzambi, Nzakomba, and what else I don't know. Listen to this, Riz. This is what the indigenous original man knew. They know that to kill, to sleep with someone else's wife, to lie, and to assault is bad.
Hold up. Read that again. Because we need to understand what you just said there. Very clear as day.
They know to kill, to sleep with someone else's wife, to lie, and to insult is bad. They didn't need a Bible or a Quran to know this. They already understood who the Most High was, or something higher than what something. They understood nature. They understood how the principles of nature operated. We already had a system set in place. You are not going to teach them what they already know. I think we can pack up and go home right here.
It's a wrap, isn't it?
I think we can pack up and go home. I'm going to read that again. You are not going to teach them what they already know. So why do we got churches on every corner, Richie?
I'm baffled.
Because Big Mama already knew God.
Right.
Hey, Riz, Chaos Reign, Grandma and Granddad already knew God. So what did you come teach us then? Here we go. Your essential role is to facilitate the task of ministers and industrials which means you will go to interpret the gospel in the way it will be the best to protect your interests in that part of the world. For these things, you have to keep watch on disinteresting our savages from the richness that is plenty in the underground. To avoid that, they get interested in it and make you murderous competition and dream. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me read that over. To avoid that, they get interested in it and make you murderous competition and dream of one day to overthrow you. So what does that mean? You have to keep these savages disinterested in the richness that's in the ground. What is he saying here, Richie? You have to keep the Africans disinterested in the resources that are in Africa. So we have to teach them to interpret the gospels in the way that we want them to teach it. So that way, when we go into their country, we can just extract resources. And if we keep them disinterested, we'll keep them from becoming murderers and the competition. Let's go on. Your knowledge of the gospel will allow you to find texts ordering and encouraging your followers to love poverty. Like happier are the poor because they will inherit the heaven. And it is difficult for the rich to enter the kingdom of God. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives them courage to affront us. I'm going to read that again, Riz. This is what the European said. This is what the European taught and how he psychologically conditioned the African to not love themselves. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives them courage to affront us.
Just to remember, for those people that's just coming in, this isn't the Willie Lynch letter. This isn't up for debate whether it's real or not. This is a real, factual letter, yeah, and observations of a maniacal white person in history, yeah? So just understand that. Understand the context. Never forget that context as George is reading this letter. Someone sat down, thought about this, and dropped this.
And when you see it, when you see black boys killing each other in America, the Caribbean, and all in Africa, when they see them brothers and they don't love each other, watch this, Richie. Watch this, Riz. When you see black people complaining about white supremacy, but they're not willing to stand up to white supremacy and fight it, this is it right here, Richie. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything, which gives courage to affront us. So you will affront your own brother, but you won't affront the people that has historically destroyed you. This is in the letter.
Family, everything.
I make reference to their mystic system and their war fetish, warfare protection, which they pretend not to want to abandon. I make reference to their mystic system. So that means that we had systems set in place that they couldn't understand. They knew that we were warriors. They knew that we would protect and not want to abandon our customs and cultures. So they came in the back door with religion. And through generations, they came in with their own interpretation of the gospel. So we were fighters. They're telling you we were fighters. So when you see a mystic system, then we have to go down to Haiti when you understand that what happened in Haiti. They use what, Richie? A mystic system.
Docile.
And you must
element.
And look at here. You must. This is King Leopold talking to the Europeans. You must do everything in your power to make it disappear. Make that mystic system and their fetish for warfare protection disappear. I become the Christians in their versions of their churches Democrat and Republicans. You really believing that you're a part of something that you was never supposed to be a part of in the first place, and I'm going to prove that later. So it says, I make reference to their mystic systems and their war fetish, war protection, which they pretend not to want to abandon. And you must do everything in your power to make it disappear. Your action will be directed essentially to the younger ones. We can go home right here. Richie, we could have been went home.
About 2 paragraphs ago.
I want all the mothers that's watching this now and all the active fathers that's watching this, and I want y'all to listen. I want you to put your thinking caps on. I want you to open your ears up. Put your third eye out. I want y'all to listen to this sentence here. Your actions will be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when the recommendation of the priest is contradictory to their parents' teachings, i.e. your drill music, your gangster rap, your WAP, all the things that mama and daddy is telling you not to do, your crack cocaine, your heroin, your superfly. They're catering to your desires, the total opposite of what your parents would tell you to do. Not going to school, being in gangs. Prisoners.
Remember what they said? Totally disrespect everything you've come from. That's the point. Turn on yourself. Eat yourself.
Your actions will be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when the recommendation of the priest is contradictory to their parents' teachings. So now when every day we see black men getting killed, you got young black men that's going to 50, they done been to 50 funerals. And no matter how many funerals they've been to, know how many black men they seen killed, now how many black people they see smoke crack, they will not revolt against this system. Even though the priest is contradictory to their teachings, they will not turn their back on it. And y'all tell me that this letter ain't powerful. Let's keep going. The children have to learn to obey what the missionary recommends. Who is the father of their soul? You must singularly insist on that their total submission and obedience. Avoid developing the spirit in the. Here you go, Riz. This is what you always talk about, Riz. Avoid developing the spirit in the schools. Teach students to read and not to reason. Dear patriots, are some of the principles that you must apply. You will find many other books which will be given to you at the end of this conference. Evangelize the niggers so that they don't stay forever in a submission to white colonialists, so that they never revolt against the restraints they are undergoing. Recite every day. Happy are those who are weeping because the kingdom of God is in for them. Damn.
Case
I gotta read that again. I gotta read that part again. Because I don't think that we getting it, Richie.
You know what? Start that whole paragraph from the children have, please.
The children have to learn to obey what the missionary recommends. Who is the father of their soul? You must singularly insist on their total submission and obedience. Avoid developing the spirit in the schools. We know who's teaching our children in the schools every day. I don't have to say it. We know who's teaching our children. Teach students to read and not reason. No logic. We don't need you using logic, because logic will say, why is my communities like this? Why is there crack cocaine? Why is there heroin? Why is there prostitution? Why is this, and why is that? Once you start using logic, now you start thinking of ways to fix your situation. We need you to read, but never reason. Who told you that you're allowed to reason?
That soulless scholarship. Man, we always talk about that shit, especially in the conscious community. Niggas can read, they're reciting facts, they're telling you different things, but there's no connection from what they're reading to their everyday behaviors, to their everyday environments. This is what we're talking about. Soulless scholarship. You reading shit, you retaining information, but you are not making no connections.
There, dear patriots, are some of the principles that you must apply. You will find many other books which will be given to you at the end of this conference. There was a conference that he had of missionaries from all over the world that was to go throughout the world and evangelize the niggers so that they stay forever in submission to white colonists. So they never revolt against the restraints they're undergoing. Recite every day, happy are those who are weeping because the kingdom of heaven is in for them. Listen to this right here. Convert always the blacks by using the whip. Keep their women in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. I got to say that again because I know a lot of y'all going to miss this. And this is why I got to teach in the way that I teach. Convert always blacks by using the whip. Keep the women in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. What does that mean? That's your gender war right there.
There you go.
That's your, see, black woman and black man, you guys are victims of things that you don't even understand. You really believe that they're giving you positions in these corporate structures. We give it to the women over the man and keep the man underworked. So now he can't vibe in his role and the woman won't respect him. So we keeping the woman in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. She's working freely for them because she's against her man. It's not her fault. I'm not putting the blame on the black women. I'm telling you what they're doing. It's still being applied today. Now, this is your gender war in full effect. He told the missionaries what to do and how to do it. If you keep the gender war and you turn their women against them, and you destroy the male class, so now he can't raise up soldiers to understand what his role, and every boy now is in total submission. Because I always say our women is out of control because the black man is under control. I'm going to say it again. The black woman is out of control because the black man, her protector, director, and corrector, is under control. He's in total submission. They control his spirit. So now we keep the woman in 9 months of submission as we put her in certain positions to where now she dictates. So now who's going to be the warrior class to fight us off? Nobody can challenge me on this because I'm reading a total declaration of what they're saying. This ain't my words. This is them saying it. This is your gender war. And this is why I never participate in the gender war. Because I understand my history and I know what the open enemy is doing. This is him telling you what he's doing. This ain't me. Why would it keep the woman in 9 months of total submission working freely for us? He didn't say the black man, he said the black woman. Watch this.
Hold on. George. One sec. I remember, like, he started off by telling you knew that you've got systems. Like, he knows you've got systems already in place to tell you right from wrong. Please remember that. Yeah, he can only do this based on already knowing that you have a moral compass. You come from ethics. You come from a society of governed people. Yeah? So as Riz is saying, there's no excuse. There really isn't. It's just a little piece of digging. The same way we're reading this, if the white man knows that we've got a system of order, law, ethics, morals, then what? How hard should it be for us as black people to find that shit? Now, let's just think on that. If he knows that, if all of them know that, how hard should it be for us to understand that we as a people from day .1 have always had a code of ethics and a way to deal with one another, from the family structure to the outer community? Go to Jordan.
force them to pay you in a sign of recognition, goats, chicken, or eggs, every time you visit their villages. Man. Wow.
God damn.
Wow.
The precision. Go to, brother. Go to.
And make sure that niggers never become rich. Okay. Now this is oh my God, man. Whew. This is kind of sad. It makes you want to cry sometimes because when you read this kind of stuff and you see the position of our people really arguing about being Republicans or Democrats or liberals and right wing and all this kind of stuff. And Cecil Rhodes wrote a letter like this. King Leopold. You see so many people's letters. Henry Ford with the International Jew. I could come with so much stuff, man. I got all this stuff, man. And when you see it, for the life of me, I just don't understand today how black people. I'm not saying that you gotta hate all white people, because do I think that all white people are racist? No. But I think the system that's in place teaches and indoctrinates poor whites as well. This global white supremacist way of thinking. And when you guys hear this, right, and make sure that the niggers never become rich, I need you guys to understand something. And I want y'all to really listen to what I'm about to say. When you see our people with 6 digits after the comma, 6 zeros after the comma, meaning that they're millionaires with 6 zeros. A lot of times the reason why they don't speak up, because they're not rich. Rich ain't how much money you got. Rich is the power that you got. If I'm worth 30 million and I can say what I want without no repercussions, then I'm rich. Because I'm a man of my own destiny. I'm in power. But if I got 300 million, but I still got to watch what I say and apologize for everything that I do, that I'm not rich. I have no power. I have handlers. I have money, but I'm contracted in with my handlers. So when you hear this, make sure them niggas never become rich. I don't want anybody saying, well, we got Oprah Winfrey, we got Jay-Z. They're not rich. Yeah, they can take trips, and they can do certain things, but rich is the power to govern yourself and your own people without people intervening. So I'm gonna read the first part so y'all guys can really understand what I'm saying to you. Force them to pay you in sign of recognitions of goats, chickens, or eggs every time you visit their villages, and make sure that the niggers never become rich. So now, watch this. I'm gonna prove my point. When you want to become so-called rich, you have to go to them, and they have to okay your idea. They have to sign off of it to put you on their TVs, to put you into their systems. You have to sign a contract with them. So now you have to take them eggs, goats, chicken, and everything. You have to present things to them for them to make you rich. Because we don't have our own corporate structures where we can go. I can't get on a plane and go to Nigeria and talk to some Nigerians and broker these deals, whereas though to get things done like that. We don't have military bases in European countries to protect our own interests. No, there is none. Seeing every day that it's impossible for the rich to enter heaven. Make them pay tax each week at Sunday Mass. Use the money supposed for the poor to build flourishing businesses, centers. You was going to say something, Rich?
No.
Institute a confessional system, which allows you to be good detective, denouncing any black that has a different consciousness, contrary to that of the decision maker. I got to read that again. Make them pay tax each week at Sunday Mass. Use the money supposed for the poor to build flourishing business centers. So all the money that we make in America, one would have to ask, why aren't we gentrifying our own communities? Where's the money going, Richie?
Mm.
Richie in Jamaica, from the Caribbean up to the UK, to America, the money that we're making in these churches, where's it going, Richie?
Well, ain't all your mega churches got businesses and little drives and little real estate here and there? This is where it is, brother. This is the ongoing thing. Even over here, recently we had a church of young boys, African in descent, set up a church for the shotters. Everybody was driving Lambos and wearing expensive clothes. It was like they were going to the top clubs. That's what they were doing here. This is what they do. It's
Yep.
tried and tested plan.
Use the money supposed for the poor to build flourishing businesses. Institute a confessional system. So the confessional system, which allows you to be the good detective to denounce any black that has a different conscience. So I want you guys to understand, when you have a black nationalist way of thinking, or a militant Christians, people like Dr. Albert Cleves, that wanted to take the Bible and revolutionize it and use it. They wanted to take that Bible and use it to empower themselves the way that the Europeans did. They said they knew that these people were allegorical. So we're going to take the principles of the Bible and we're going to use it to empower us. Most of y'all never even heard of Dr. Albert Cleves. They don't want you to hear him. So what happens is your black ministers have become the institution of the confessional system, because they're teaching and confessing the word in the same manner in which Leopold did. And if you notice how a lot of the churches went against the black power structure, they even went against Dr. King the last 2 years of his life, because he started to develop a consciousness contrary to that of the decision making. Teach the niggers to forget their
Here we go.
Here we go. Everybody strap up. Put your seatbelts on, man. Strap up tight. Because I'm about to go. I'm about to get in my bishop mode now. Hold on. Let me fix myself real quick. Fix my hair.
Let me get that organ playing.
Yeah, get the organ playing. Let's get it in. Teach the niggers to forget their heroes and to adore only ours. Never present a chair to a black that comes to visit you. Don't give him more than one cigarette. Never invite him for dinner, even if he gives you a chicken every time you arrive at his house. So it's telling you, teach the niggers to never forget their heroes and to adore only ours. So people go around saying, well, I'm American. And they love Abraham Lincoln. They love George Washington. They love Thomas Paine. They love Thomas Jefferson. They love all these people. But when I ask you, who was Henry Highland Garnett? Who was Octavius Valentine Cato? They don't know. Who was Martin Delany? They don't know. They don't know. I had to do it. I did a series on history of African American inventors. Who's Mark Dean? They don't know. They don't know. Our black superheroes, Charles Drew, they don't know. Dr. Leonidas, they don't know. Who was our leaders, our superheroes? It says, teach the niggers to forget their heroes and to adore only ours. So you see images. You see images like this. You see images like this in 2021. And everybody's okay with it. This is not hate. This is teaching my people. The indoctrination that's been put on our people. Whoever said, and I asked you, Miss CEO of YouTube, whoever said that white people were psychologically fit to govern anything over black people. Knowing this history, if we're going to admit to Juneteenth, Miss CEO, if we're going to admit to Juneteenth, where has white people ever been psychologically evaluated to see if they were psychologically fit to govern anything on black people? That's a legitimate question.
especially considering we've always had our own systems.
Teach the niggers to forget their own heroes. Richie, how many people know Darkest Howl, Richie?
Come on. They don't know the works. This is what I'm saying. How many collaborations between your great UK and USA scholars have had to happen for stuff to spark off? We was laughing already earlier about the link from an American to an African to a Jamaican, all inspiring one another for shit to happen.
How many people know Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Edward Scobie, Schomburg? How many people know our historians? How many people know? What's our history? What is Black history? What is Black history? How many of us know that we are Black history? Every day, every hour, every minute, we're contributing to history. How are we going to be remembered? Teach the niggers to forget their heroes. Huh? I mean, we talking about people that invented the gas mask. We talking about people that invented the ladders that they put on the fire trucks that they use. I mean, it got. I don't really think it said teach the niggers to forget their heroes. Damn.
That's the truest sentiment you can hear from a white man, to teach you to forget. This is the key element. They can't teach you anything new, so they can only teach you to forget, because you already done had the answers already. You done had the system already. You done had the ethical code already.
I mean, we got people like Emmett. We come from people like Emmett Chappelle, Charles Henry Turner, Alice Ball, Mary Van Britten. But most of our people don't even know who they are. These are forgotten people. Their memories washed away like raindrops on the window pane. I need the YouTube algorithms to explain this to me. Because if this is hate speech, then I guess I'm the hate that hate produced. I need somebody to tell me where I'm wrong. Yeah, Doug. And this is the stuff that needs to be taught, because black boys are killing each other because they really don't know. Let's go. Let's get. It says this letter just shows how much Europeans undermine the worth and dignity of Africans. The intention was that the Africans were supposed to read and not reason. The culture of independence was developed at this stage. The subjugation comers using Christianity to vindicate us. But I want to go right back up real fast. I want to show one thing. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives them the courage to affront us. This is directly for black boys. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives them the courage to affront us. That's the Freddy Krueger effect. When you think in your mind, man, I got to get myself out of this, man. No, we're going to stand up and revolt. Freddy is there to say, nigga, please. You ain't going to do nothing. You're going to stay down there. You every anger that you have, you're going to take it out on your own, man. When I see Doug, I see Doug as an op. Doug ain't my brother. See, this is how they think. Doug and Richie and Riz ain't my brother. They ops. I got my Glock for a black man. That's what I got. I will never affront white supremacy, but I'll shoot my brother. I make reference to their mystic system and their war fetish, warfare protection, which they pretend not to want to abandon. You must do everything in your power to make it disappear. Your action will be directed essentially to the younger ones. You hear this? You hear this, Doug? Your action would be directed essentially to the younger ones. All these young kids, young boys killing each other. For they won't revolt when the recommendation of the priest is contradictory to their teachings of their parents, to their parents' teachings. I need somebody to tell me where I'm off base and where I'm wrong. I need somebody to come up here with some stupid liberal and right wing and left wing crap. I need somebody. I need somebody to explain to me, because this ain't my words. This is the words of the British. It's the British. Say me. So let's look. Let's go here. Let's move here. Nigeria builds the biggest statue of white Jesus Christ in Africa.
Oh, there's some of that church money.
White people have managed to make themselves appear as gods to black people on the region where 99% of the inhabitants are black. Let's look at this quick video real quick.
Hundreds of Catholic believers in Abia, southeast of Nigeria, on Friday attended the inauguration of the tallest statue of Jesus Christ. The African tallest statue, weighing 8.5 meters, was erected at St. Aloysius Catholic Parish, Abuja, founded by a rich Nigerian businessman, Obinna Onoha. Bishop of Olu Catholic Diocese, Most Reverend Augustine Ukwoma, described the statue as magnificent, commending the Onoha family.
You'd never believe where one of the tallest statues of a white Jesus resides. Africa. Yeah, I'm not that surprised either. A Nigerian businessman set to unveil what he claims is Africa's largest statue of Jesus. It's actually one of the largest statues in the world of a white Jesus. Oh, the irony. The largest statue of Jesus is described as a symbol of peace in a country that is wrecked by Islamist insurgency. Standing barefoot with his arms outstretched, the 40-ton statue towers over St. Aloysius Catholic Church in the mainly Christian village of Abidjan. Isn't it interesting that Africa is a continent that is comprised of close to 2 billion black people? Why would these people entertain images of a white God where more than 99% of the continent's inhabitants are black? Even in Africa, where there should be no white supremacy, black people choose to see these people as gods. Jesus did not condemn slavery, and he said it was okay to beat slaves. He demanded that slaves pay their masters respect. He rewards invaders of nations for wiping out entire populations. Does raping wives while killing the children and husbands sound familiar to black people? And while they prayed to this white Jesus for fear of being damned to an eternal afterlife of pain and suffering, they go on in this reality with pain and suffering. The very pain and suffering they want to escape is only escaped in their imaginations of being saved by a white Jesus, which is ironic because people who look like this Jesus are directly responsible for their suffering and pain. Today, most nations in Africa have been colonized, and still many barely fight to break away from the claws of colonization. But the people who have colonized you and robbed your countries blind of natural resources look very much like the gods you worship. Foolish Africans who have never learned, like the African Americans and other diasporan Africans have, that slavery can only exist in the mind. You can't physically make a man a slave. It has to be a willful act. There has to be submission. No wonder your leaders are so quick to sell you out for pennies in comparison to what others get, and the people fall back and rally behind your crooked leaders. I guess all they have to do is scream amen and shout the Holy Ghost, and you are complacent. My message to Nigeria and all African nations: burn your Bibles and forget about your ridiculous religions. Your enemies don't worship your gods. They worship the true God that actually matters, which is in their bank accounts, while you worship them and their images they give you of a white Jesus. Shame on you. Shame on all black people using white-owned media and barely noticing your black social networks that are actually designed to empower you. Foolish black man. How can you successfully run a nation in the real world if you can't even build a nation online?
What the hell you talking about Jesus don't exist, man? What the hell you think you at? Why you think you here? Huh? What the man, what's wrong with you, man?
I'm saying you've been praising Jesus all your life.
That's right, that's right.
What if I was to tell you that bastard never really existed?
Watch your fucking mouth right here, man. Watch your motherfucking mouth. What the fuck you talking about Jesus like that? Man, who the fuck is you? Now you fucking up now, man. Now you fucking up now, man.
Hey, Richie. Hey, good.
You know them classics.
He wanted to fight, right? Hold on, I want to go back. I wanted to play that for a reason because I wanted to go back. I wanted to go back to the beginning of the letter. I want just to prove my point. Where now you see how that black dude was mad and ready to fight Sonetta, right?
Come on.
Now watch this. So it says, I want y'all to look at this. Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is to never teach the niggers to know God. This they already know. They speak and submit to Mungu, Nzambi, Nzamba, and whatever else I don't know. They know that to kill, to sleep with someone else's wife, to lie, and to insult is bad. And they already knew this stuff. So now when you come with your white Jesus, they looking at you like, what? They already knew that you're not supposed to kill. They knew you're not supposed to sleep with somebody else's wife. This is the king telling the missionaries, yo, you going in there with this white Bible. They already know. They already got their interpretation of who God is. So don't tell me that I'm hating on Jesus. I'm telling you what a lot of our ancestry already knew. So don't say it's me saying it. This is what the white supremacists telling the white people. They already knew who God was. So when I show that video, it just shows you just how messed up we are, man. Look at these images, right? Look at this. This is in Zimbabwe. They're still following the images of these British courts and all this kind of stuff. This is black people where now they don't think for themselves. They read, but see, Richie, this is reading but not reasoning. Because if you reason, why would you ever do this, Richie?
Come on.
This is the term of read and not reason. I'll keep going. I'll keep ripping. Let's just bring in some images before I get to my other part. This is some of the images of what he did. Amen.
That's it.
Of what he was doing in the Congo to black people. He cut part of his nose off. He was cutting off arms. He was cutting off limbs.
Yeah, hands and feet. Hands and feet. That's what he was known for.
Look at this here. So you mean to tell me, still to this day, it's this way. This is your CEO or your owner. This is a bunch of black people that went to school in these universities and they still working for the European instead of creating their own and competing against them. Still to this day. This is your white owner of the basketball team, or the football team, or the baseball team, and this is your players.
Right.
Still to this day.
Say that again, because you see now, I see someone write earlier about the war against the Africans on resources, and they don't know that it's happening, and that's the truth. But do most of us know what's happening here in the West? Because while you're pushing buttons and getting into your car and you're going to your job and you're spending money on your Nikes and whatever else that you like, you're facilitating the same bullshit. You're acting like you don't know where the resources come from. You're acting like you don't understand the value of those resources. So the same thing he's saying in that letter applies to you here in this Western diaspora. The way we treat resources, our money, our little piece of things that we do produce in these lands, yeah, the way we think about it shows that we're under the same cloud. So don't get it twisted. You might not go church, you might not be saying white Jesus, but if you're living a certain way and you don't understand where all of the resources for your computer, your phone, all these things come from, the true value of it, how many people that look like you die every day to facilitate this little bullshit life you're living here, then you're not on point. Yeah? You're just as subjugated as the person in a church saying white Jesus. Do not think that you are different. I have to stress that because there's a lot of us here in the West. We might feel like we're past that church stage. We might feel like we know better, at least on that white Jesus stage. But when it comes to resources, when it comes to understanding how this life works here in the Western Hemisphere and what the lifeblood is and where it actually comes from, we're just as dumb and just as ignorant as those people in them churches still crying to white Jesus. Understand this. Yeah. And that's another reason why you get the subjugation between Americans talking about people from the UK or Europe, talking about people from Africa. Like, come on.
Let me address EMAC real quick. EMAC said, where you at, EMAC? At this point, whose fault is it? We refuse to unite, so divided we fall. And this is why we got to pay attention, especially black men. We got to pay attention. I just read to you. I'm reading to you guys, and I need you guys to not be entertained by one. I need you guys to sit back and put your third eye vision on and put your thinking caps on. It says your essential role is to facilitate the tasks of administrators and industrials, which means you will go to interpret the gospel in the way it will best protect your interests in that part of the world. For these things, you have to keep watch on disinteresting our savages from the richness of the plenty. To avoid that they get interested in it. So let's get here. It says your knowledge of the gospel will allow you to find texts ordering and encouraging your followers to love poverty. Like happier are the poor because they will inherit heaven. So they get into how it's difficult to enter the kingdom of heaven. You must detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives them the courage to affront us. So when you hear about uniting, brother, this is the thing, EF, and this ain't no disrespect to you. I want you to really understand the reason why we can't come together. That's why I'm doing this stream. A lot of times, I'm getting back on YouTube when I'm starting to get back to teaching again, because a lot of times we regurgitate a lot of talking points, but we don't know where they come from. We don't know the history behind certain things. So when you read these letters from almost 200 years ago, you get a chance to see what it is that they did to us psychologically. So until we understand, that's why EFF, they never ever want us to teach our history, because they don't want black boys to have a frame of reference of what it is to be great, or where we come from, or what the true aspect of our history is. They don't want you to know it, young brother. It's not something. So even with this, they may take this video down. They may not even monetize this video. And this video, Richie, did we cuss one time yet? No.
I may have.
We may have threw something here or there, but are we
being an informational driven?
Are we telling anybody to go kill white people? No. We're not saying none of that. All we're doing is teaching historical events in time. But see, as a black man, I'm supposed to be disrespecting my woman. I'm supposed to be telling her to bust it open. And I'm supposed to have a gad on a video telling me I'm going to kill a black man. That's acceptable, Miss CEO of YouTube. But this is not. I'm not interested in killing no white folks. I'm interested in waking up young black men so they understand what duty is. That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in letting them understand the children have to learn to obey the missionaries. Who is the father of their soul? Whoo! So who is the father of their soul? The God that their parents taught them was, or the white man? You must singularly insist on their total submission and obedience. Avoid developing the spirit in the schools. Teach them to read, not to reason. Dear Patriots are some of the principles you must apply. So they're right there, young brother. This is why our people can't come together. Evangelize the niggers so that they stay forever in submission to white colonists. This, young brother, is why they can't come together, young brother. It's not. It's more complex than just we can't come together. And that's something that I had to learn. Now, in the last part, Richie, talk to him for a minute. Let me take my turkey wings out the oven. We talk to him for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, get that food, son. Yeah, people, you know the realness. If you haven't smashed the like button, smash it now, please. Yeah, but again, the information speaks for itself. And when you're listening to this, even though the context of the letter is based in this church speaking to the ministers format, it's easy if you just engage your brain to slide the scale to whatever industry you want to talk about, and they're doing the same thing, whether it's finances and they're telling you how to spend your money and what you should do, whether it's the work situation where they're pushing you into certain situations, whether it's how to spend your money, constantly bombarding you with ads and plastering you with mind bending stuff to make you change your spending habits, yeah, and waste your resources, or whether it's the politics situation where they want you to vote and again give your energy and time to a system that you know doesn't work historically for black people, let alone for the wider situation. So again, just keep that sliding scale in your mind when you're listening and you're reading back this letter, because it applies to every facet of life that you're living in this Western hemisphere, especially. Yeah, there is no part of this letter that doesn't apply to you if you're living, breathing, and being right now in these hemispheres of the planet. Yeah, so don't ever think that this is just about religion. This applies to every facet of the society that we find ourselves in.
I want to show y'all this too. Look, Jesus Christ visits a church somewhere in Kenya or South Africa and worships get ecstatic. So now, ultimately, he was in Kenya, right? He ended up getting arrested and deported. They took this pastor and locked his ass up, but not before he was able to go around the country. Look at this dude. He was able to go around the country. This buttermilk complected Jesus was going around the country, right? Hold on, I'm trying to find. This is him at the church. He's standing up. He got the microphone in his ear. This is in Africa, man. And he was able to shuck and jive all the way throughout. Let's see.
You need to stop.
I'm just that's sad, bro.
You need to stop that shit.
Hey, listen, the Kenyan government. What the hell? The Kenyan government finally came in, but not after the damage was done. Like he was going all through, and the people really believe that Jesus had returned, man. Look, let me show y'all something. Where that picture at? Oh, I don't have it. Oh man, the girl was crying in his arms. No, I don't have it. Damn. Yeah, but this was an image. That was an image. That was an image of Jesus. So they ended up locking that pastor up. Yeah, but we explained why, brother EFF. So let me get to the last 20 minutes of this video because I want to come to the African Americans real quick, and I want to deal with you Democrats and Republicans in contrast to the letter that we just wrote. Watch this, Richie. This is for all you black conservatives, all you Trump lovers. The Negro Party was one name of the African American branches of the Republican Party, formed in the Southern states by the Union League in 1867 during the Reconstruction era. After 1890, the faction was usually called the Black and Tan faction. William F. Butler of Jefferson County, Kentucky, spoke at the first convention of the Negro Republican Party held in Lexington, Kentucky, in November 1867 and became the president of the party. The religious leader, Elijah Green, was chosen vice president of the Kentucky branch in Lexington Convention in 1867. He was a leading Baptist preacher. In Maysville in Paris until he died in 1889. The Democrats was opposed to the Negro Republicans, which represented the majority of eligible voters in some states. So as you can see, during that time, whites used the black population for votes. They didn't give a damn about blacks. In 1866, the Old Guard magazine accused the Democrats of using force and fraud to gain and retain power and representing, but despised the faction of the American people. Many years later, the New Orleans Times was hostile to the organization in Louisiana, publishing editorials in the 1890s in favor of disenfranchisement of Negroes on the basis that they were unfit to vote. Now, where does that thought process come from? How can black people be unfit to vote? Because they have to always be in control. Unfit to vote, ignorant, shiftless, depraved, and criminal-minded, and would be controlled by the ring of white politicians. In 1895, after a powwow of the Negro Republican Party, whites claimed would be willing to accept subordinate. They would be willing to accept us in subordinate positions in the party to control the Negro vote. Let's see. The British author Stephen Graham mentions that in New Orleans, the Negro Republican Party could not vote, could not count for much votes. African American males were allowed to vote in Alabama until 1901, when the state disenfranchised them, although still letting them register. The Negro Republican Party in Birmingham, Alabama, was recognized in opposition to the lily white Republican Party. After that party prevented any of the 25 black delegates from taking part in its Birmingham convention. In Maryland, while Democrats were typically against allowing blacks to vote at all, the Republicans wanted to give them this and other basic rights, but many did not want blacks to hold important political offices or have frequent contact with whites. So their vote was important to the Republicans. However, in 1909, at the time when the Democrats was pushing disenfranchisement, the Republican called for all members of the Negro Party to turn out on voting day at every district. They did that because they needed your votes in order for them to gain power over the Democrats. They never gave a damn about you. More than 100 years ago, the angry abolitionist William Lloyd Garrison complained that the Republican Party has only a geographical aversion to slavery. It is a complexional party, exclusively for white men, not for all men, white or black. Another famous abolitionist, Frederick Douglass, made a similar observation about the nature of the early Republican Party. The cry for freemen, Douglass lamented, was raised not for the extension of the liberty of the black man, but for the protection of the liberty of white. Most, if not all, abolitionists accepted these contemporary estimates of Republican racism. In recent years, many historians have also accepted these views of the antebellum Republican Party. They argue that the opposition to the geographical expansion of the black race largely explains Republican opposition to the spread of slavery and opposing slavery's extensions. So what I'm doing right now is reading, hold on a second. I'm reading these Republicans, right? This is what I want to get to. I'm reading these Republicans, right? And I'm not gonna read this here. What I'm gonna do is I'm explaining to you guys, because I'm coming back again with me and Brother Moses 2 years ago. We broke down the Republicans and Democrats and how we knew that the Democrats were racist. But a lot of people, you hear a lot of black people say, well, our grandparents were Republicans. And I'm saying, do you understand the Republicans was just as racist as the Democrats? They only use you for votes. We certain positions that we couldn't even get in.
Yeah, let me
Hold
listen,
on, real quick.
Oh, go on.
Let me unshare the screen real quick because I'm gonna save this. I was gonna get into it, but I'm gonna save it. Hold on, wait. Let me see. Doug, I wanna respond to my brother Doug real quick.
Okay, that's what I was about to bring.
Okay. It said, George, are you saying do not get involved in the political system? If so, what do you suggest in place? All right, that's what I'm saying, brother. I'm not saying me and Richie, we differ on this. I'm not saying don't get involved in a political system. What I'm saying is we're not Republicans or Democrats. History has shown us that none of them is on our sides. We have to have. Why can't we have our own party and give our votes to whoever meets our interests? Okay. And give our votes to whoever's willing to meet our interests. I think that we should control the communities that we live in, so we should vote locally. But as far as voting Democrat and Republicans and being part of something that historically never recognized us, no, I disagree. We have to, if anything, we should be voting black the same way they vote white. And because you've never been a Democrat or Republican. And when I break this stuff down, all this stuff goes into the King Leopold's letter, though. It's all part of the mindset. Go ahead, Richie.
No, I mean, same thing. If historically you can already see that you've only been included on a token level to make up the numbers, then why would you continue to participate in that system? Because clearly they're showing you don't have any stake in the game. They're not listening to you. You're there as a token. So, as George said, either you have your own party, but then the deepness of it is if we're talking about the American system, they've already got an overriding clause, which is the congressional register, or what's it called, George? Where you got your special delegated 100 white people who can just override everybody's votes and just make the
Electoral College.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So again, now if you've got something like that, again, if just use your head, that already tells you that they've already built a back door in. That if they don't agree with what you're saying on a normal collective level, they can override you. So that's a flawed part of the system, let alone as black people now. As we said, what power do you have? Are you harnessing the economic power that we have in society, our spending power, all of these kinds of things? What businesses do we have? It's easy for us to look at the model of other races besides white people who are participating in this political arena and see what they bring to the table. And then you start to quickly understand, well, why don't black people have these same things? And once you understand that, this is where you start to understand how futile it is to continually participate in something that is set up a certain way. And that's why, for me, my biggest thing is withdrawing from the system. If there's a collective number of us that withdraw from these political systems collectively with a message to actually state that we're withdrawing, then that's where I think there will be more power, rather than participating in something over and over again just because it's there. Yeah, I've got the right to vote, so I'm just going to use it.
You see that, Richie?
Yeah, I that don't make no sense to me.
You see that, Richie? This is my political party right here.
That's all.
This is my political party right here. Unifying, being on the ground and unifying black people. You know what's crazy too? We got 2 thumb downs on here too. And you know it's probably, I guarantee you it wasn't the white people that thumbed this video down. That's just how crazy our people are. Some of our people are. But this is me on the ground yesterday. Urban Nerds. You see, I had my shirt, Nerds Over Niggers, because we trying to get rid of that real nigga consciousness. So I had my Nerds Over Niggers shirt on. Yesterday on the ground. I'm trying to teach young kids that it's cool not to be a real nigga, because a lot of these kids is out here, they listening to this drill music, they listening to a lot of the gangster music, and I'm telling them that we ain't niggas. So Nerds Over Niggers. We got over 100 people turn out, man. A lot of families. You see, there's a lot of adults here. There's a lot of families coming with their children, and we're talking about talking about the importance of fatherhood, motherhood, family. What's next for Urban Nerds? What are some of the things that we're going to do what's coming. So, like I said, what it do? D Red, man, you gotta call me, bro. Hold on. D Red, I don't know if you got the same email because I was trying to call you, but I don't know if that's the same phone number. D Red, I need to holler at you. I need to holler at you. I don't want to put my phone number in the chat. Let me see. Yeah, but this is me on the ground, man, with my people, man. Like, you know, we was out, man, in my community tab. You can see more. Yeah. I still got the same number. Call me, D. After the stream. But we on the ground, and we trying to make it happen, man. We really trying to make it happen. We in our first year of our program, and okay, good. Yeah, we're in the first year of our program, and man, hopefully the Most High blesses and we just keep moving forward. I don't have all the answers as to how you clean up the Black community, but the only thing I can do is do my part, and hopefully I get more support. And as long as I stay right and stay righteous for the people, man, and keep understanding the essence of God that's in me, hopefully I can grow and get bigger. And this thing, you know, we can take this thing to another level, man. But we need the participation of the people, man.
Always.
We need the participation.
Remember, everything that we just read in that letter, George had to do and overcome in order to create this Urban Nerds. Yeah, I know a lot of you people are going to just, you know, see the end result, but True George is my guy, and we've been talking now for a hot minute, and I've watched and been happy to be a part of the build for him to get to this point. You have to understand, and I think one time, George, you're going to have to do a show where you talk about your journey to get to Urban Nerds, because I think it's important for the people then to understand, you know, what you had to do to build up yourself, to know what you're about, to get to that point where you can be the change in the wider community. Because it doesn't start from the wider community and then backward. It's got to start with yourself. Understand that. Yeah, you can know all the Black knowledge you want, but if there is no personal connection to self, if you don't understand the parameters in your own life that need to change, then don't step out here and start talking to the wider community, because it don't work. It won't work. It will be unsustainable. You understand? So when you see these efforts by our brother George and all the people that's involved, you get me, and doing the thing with him, understand there's a process to get to that point. Yeah, and it started off with him himself. The same way, if you want to be involved, if you want to support these kinds of moves, you're going to have to first look at yourself, look at your own family structure, look at your own life, look at the things that you need to change as a Black person to be the best version of yourself before you can be the effective change, the long-lasting change in the wider community. But if we all do that and we start off with self, trust me, we'll have a lot more stronger foundational Black people across the board, from here in the UK to the USA to Jamaica to Africa and back again.
Yeah, you know what happened, Richie, when you start talking like that, see, when accountability come, the numbers start dropping. When we start talking about the accountability, because the first thing, what I believe in, you got to live what you speak. If you ain't practicing and living what you speak, and when you come to talk to the people, you need to present yourself as that what you speak. If not, for me, I can't speak to nobody else. I really don't want to hear that shit. When I'm out here every day, being an active father, on the front line. When I'm out here every day being an active father on the front line, and I'm talking about death to the real nigga, I'm not talking about killing nobody. I'm talking about killing that nigga consciousness in the mindset of our people. I'm talking about bringing Black intelligence back to the hood. I'm talking about teaching kids that it's cool to be a nerd and not a nigga. I'm talking about telling Black boys it's cool to be a revolutionary, not a real nigga. I'm talking about understanding what it is that you need to do to develop yourself as a man. I'm talking about what it is that when you understand what it is as a man to duty, legacy. When you see a woman, you think legacy. You think, what was that?
What was that?
I don't know. Something said bing, bing, bing or something.
Okay.
Yeah. When you see a woman and you think of sex, you think legacy. not just something that you just want to sex right away. You think legacy. You think children and what it is that you owe the community, what it is the ancestors that was there before you, all the ancestors that died and shed blood, and the reason why you should be building. So we say nerves over niggers, we say intelligence over the nigger mindset. We say take that gun, stop pointing that gun at your brother. Stop looking at every woman as a bottle that needs to be corked. Women make better decisions in discernment and a man you wet between your legs. Let's raise these children up. So we say nerves over niggers. We know what that means. We know what it means. We want black boys in Baltimore, Chicago, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and everywhere else to stop killing each other. We want them to start killing the books, reading the books, not killing each other. That's what we want. So Richie, close us out and we're gonna get out of here. It's time for me to eat.
Yeah, people, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Remember, we've brought nothing but facts to you today for you to analyze, use your critical thinking, use your original DNA to decipher, to understand that the enemy understands you. Yeah? Forget what your other black people know. Your enemy understands you. So every time you're under pressure from whatever system, situation that you find yourself, analyze it carefully, be aware of your surroundings, and know who the enemy is. Know they've studied you. Know they've preed you at your strongest. So it's up to you to make the decisions to better fortify yourself, to better know yourself. So again, as a collective, we're going to be a hell of a lot stronger, yeah? That's what it's about. Big up to the people in the UK supporting the reparations march. To all the people that don't know about Black Ice TV 7, just type it in, all one word. Go check out the channel, support it, hit the cash app, whatever you want to do. But definitely check out the content. You'll be surprised at what we've done over there. Big up to you, George, for having us over here. Big up to Urban Nerds. Always.
And remember, I love my people more than they hate themselves. So I pray to the universal creator most high that these words are enough to inspire you. These words are enough to make you look at yourself in the mirror and make change. These words are enough to make you look at your children and know you have to make change. I hope that when you came here for information. And when you leave here greater than what you was before you came. Leave here edified. I hope that you share this information on all the social media mechanisms that we use to get the message across. It's time that we had a conversation, man. We need to do more streams like this. Look forward to my next stream of one of the South African parliament leaders in the letter he wrote about the South Africans and how to control an African. I also want to read the not King Leopold, Cecil Rhodes letter. So I'm gonna read these different letters to get you guys the full understanding as to where a lot of people view us, man. And this is not, you can't say it's hate speech if I'm teaching to my people a letter that was written for my people. This is for educational purposes. Educational purposes. So it's time that we had a conversations. For years they called us niggas. So CEO of YouTube, I'm saying nerves over niggas. I'm telling my people that we dispelling that myth. We ain't no niggas. So let's dispel that myth, man. Make sure y'all go to the website. I'm gonna have that shirt on the website probably tomorrow. So remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.